Hi guys, and welcome back to Cutting Through Your Red Tape. It is your girl LaShonta. Listen, y'all, last Sunday we had the opportunity to hit the big stage, Cutting Through the Red Tape. Hit the big stage with 810 Studios. Shout out to my girl Tamika. I'm excited, y'all. Oh my gosh, like that was the livest thing I believe that I have ever done in my entire life. Like, it was hot up there, but it was also so exciting. Like, so many feelings and emotions that I have about doing my very first live, pre-recorded live show with a live audience and everything. Shout out to those who traveled all the way to Chicky Pen, North Carolina to sit in on my show. Me and Shawana Newton, we had a blast. If you guys could please get a chance to go back and watch that show, I think that you will greatly enjoy it. We were able to break down the emotional part of Job and his journey, and how we were able to put those key pieces together in our own lives, and just bless God for allowing us to go through in order to get through. So enough about that, guys. Today I am back with you. And I created me a beautiful t-shirt, and it's called Bloom Anyway. And it's a rose coming through the concrete. And we know that concretes, they're broken places. Most of the time they're hard places. Most of the time they're found in places where it's direct sunlight. It's most of the time up under the concrete. It's dark, or it's gloomy, or it's hard, or it's rocky. And you wouldn't think that beautiful things grow from those areas, but they do. That's why most of the time, if you are walking somewhere and you see like grass coming out of the concrete and stuff, it just because those places are hard or solid or rocky, it doesn't mean that beautiful things can't come from those places. And most of the time, we just have to take a step back and just look at the things that we have gone through, and the things that we are currently going through. They're hard. They're tough, and we don't understand why we are in those positions. But whenever people look at us and they can still smile, or when people speak to us and talk to us and we can still provide them knowledge or encouragement, or pull them out of the places that they are in, we are in fact the rose that's growing from a concrete place. We are in fact the hard place where we feel like nothing is prospering, or every time we turn around something is always happening, or we feel like we can't just catch a break. But in those hard places, we are catching all the breaks. Everything is happening for us. All good things don't come in joyous celebrations. Sometimes good things come from concrete places. They come from hard places. They come from trials. They come from tribulations. Look at me as a testament. I'm not the only one who has gone through what I have gone through. I chose to make the best out of everything that I have gone through. I chose to be the rose in this concrete. I chose to get up. I chose to anoint myself. I chose to change out of my dead clothes and put on brand new clothes. Today, my pastor spoke on David and Nathan, and how David had made a baby with Bathsheba, and he knew that he shouldn't have. And he talked about how he tried to cover it up, and how he continuously tried to put things over it to protect himself. And in the end, unfortunately, the baby died. And when the baby died, after the 7 days where he fasted, he knew that his baby was gone and his mourning was over. But before he was able to come out of that place, he anointed himself. He asked God to forgive him, and he truly repented for the things that he done and for the things that he knowingly did. Sometimes we do things and we don't knowingly know that we did those things, but the things that we did know that we did, we need to repent for those things. And once we have fasted and once we have gotten ourselves together and we have anointed ourselves, then we need to remove our dead clothes. And we need to put on fresh clothes. And David began to say, create in me a clean heart. And that's what we need to be asking God for, a clean heart. We need to be asking God to restore the right spirit within us, not just us spirits, not the spirit that we have been carrying, doing our own thing and doing the things that we want to do. We need to ask God to create in us a clean heart and to renew the right spirit within us. And then we will be able to bloom anyway from that hard place, because David was in a hard place. He was in a concrete place because of the choices that he made. He had to suffer for those choices that he made. But in the end, he repented and he asked God to forgive him. And God was able to restore joy. He was able to give him some things back. He was able to walk with him and to lead him and to guide him. And that's what I want us to do today. I want us to take a moment to reflect and to think about the things that we need to repent for. Think about the things that we need to ask God to close, that we need to just let die out. We need to let those things be. We need to fast. We need to pray. And then we need to rise from the concrete. We need to rise from the ashes. And we need to do the things that we need to do to get back to where we need to be, in our own purpose, in our own right, and in our own standing. And so as I pulled out my laptop last night, I came up with this image, and the Lord said to bloom anyway, even from the concrete, even if you don't get the sunlight, even if you don't get the proper rain, even if you don't get the accolades, even if you don't get the hugs and the encouragement from the ones that you love the most, you can still bloom anyway from the concrete. Listen, I love you guys with everything in me. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another great episode of Cutting Through the Red Tape. Shout out to 810 Studios. It's up from here. Peace. I'm out.